like, how did this all come about for you?
So I've pondered this for a long time, and I think subconsciously I went into this maybe a revenge aspect on women. I felt vulnerable, and I from then on like wasn't gonna do that, and I needed to be in control of every aspect. But then it's not really every aspect. I just like it during sex. So I think that had a lot to do with it underneath. Like when I was doing it, I didn't think like, oh, I hate fuck this girl because I'm mad at this girl. That wasn't what was going on in my head. But I, like thinking back on it, like reflecting, I think that it had a lot to do with it.
Because you've been
cheated on, or like I'm the type of guy, like if I am in a relationship, I give it everything. You know what I mean? Like I'm all out. And I was raised just by my mom, and so I'm like very passionate, and I get very attached, and like I just like kind of let it go, and I like really fall hard, I guess, for lack of a better term, fall hard. And it was really fucked up. Like I just felt taken advantage of, and I made them a priority when I was just like the person they were with. I don't know what they were thinking. But a lot of it also was like watching porn and having fetishes for this, and like seeing it and be like, oh man, that's fucking hot. Like I would love to do that to a girl. Like, of course.
So, have you ever had like a woman while doing whatever it is that you're doing, like let out or be like, I don't want to do this?
Yes, of course.
What do you do? Do you stop?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yes, immediately.
Does that happen a lot?
Not a lot. It's maybe happened a handful of times, because everything that I do is like thoroughly discussed. I make sure that I have consent for everything that's going to happen, and that it's very understood. And so like it very rarely happens. There's no surprises. I mean, they don't know like when it's going to happen or anything like that. It's not like I have like a very calculated order of this is going to happen then and then and then.
Here's the list of the order that we're going in.
Yeah, exactly, in order. But the things that I typically like to do, or like the things that I'm looking for, or like things that. Well, like spanking is a big thing. I like to do that a lot. Just like casually hanging out, watching Netflix, I just want to like bend them over and spank them.
With your hand or with like an object?
Whatever they're comfortable with.
Okay.
I like the hand because I like having my handprint there. That's very arousing, and it's like an alpha subconscious thing. Like I'm marking my territory, so it's like a mental orgasm kind of. Choking, slapping. In some cases, I've even used a belt, like wrapped it around the neck. It is crazy. That takes a lot of trust, of course. I'm not gonna like strangle somebody with my belt on the first night meeting. However, I have done that once, but it was like discussed, and like they were into it and wanted it.
Well, and I guess that's the other thing I'm curious is that like, do you find a lot of the women that you're with, who you do this with, have like done this before and like want that, or are they like, oh my god, this sounds like we're doing like 50 Shades of Grey, I want to try it?
That
really?
More than half. A majority, for sure.
And do they like
Some
it?
have like dabbled. They've like had rough sex, you know what I mean? But for the most part, they've never done anything like that. And they think they're like really, that's when you have the ones who'll stop you in the middle and then just be like, this is too much. And so, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You see it because all of those women, they like are addicted to porn. Absolutely, I'm sure of it. Because they'll even say they won't say they're addicted, but they'll say they'll watch it. They'll be like, how are you into that? And you're like, oh, I watched it. And I'm like, I want to do it. Because I mean, how else do you gain that fantasy other than reading 50 Shades of Grey? But I mean, watching a movie, like, that's not real. That's not real. Sorry. Have you heard of FetLife? I'm sure. In your dealings, you've never heard of FetLife? Even though it's not so much a dating platform, more as it is a social networking platform, but it's for like the fetish community. So like you could get lost in there and like really learn a lot. But it's kind of scary because there's some people that are into some really fucking crazy shit. Yeah, like people that are really into asphyxiation. I don't do that. Like it kind of creeps me out.
What does that entail?
I've met a girl that like was into her partner like putting bags over her head and like suffocating her, or like being strangled until you pass out. And I can't do that. It's not for me. I haven't actually conversed with these people, but I've seen like them post things on FetLife, and like it's like extreme masochist. One person, I don't know how real it was. They claimed it was real, but like this girl had her throat split and like stitched back together and like slashed down her X in her chest, and it's like, how is that safe? Like it's kind of scary. Like you get on there, like there's a term deemed like subspace. Like for a submissive girl after like an encounter, they like go into subspace, like maybe they feel used or just like it's called subspace, so they can spot or they just feel maybe guilty or just like they need to be held, I guess, basically. And after like looking at FetLife for like an hour sometimes, I'm in subspace. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what did I just see? Like, I need to unsee this immediately.
So my other question is that when you do this, right, with a woman, so have you ever encountered a woman that like I've asked you about, like if a woman like freaks out or is like, oh my god, I can't do this, do you feel that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if they didn't freak out, but they tell me like the next day or later, like, oh, that was a little intense. Of course, I'm gonna sympathize, empathize for them. I mean, I've had an encounter where the girl just kind of like started crying. So a lot of girls that do this, I guess they've read or seen things, or maybe they've been with an abusive person before, but they're like afraid to say that it's too much or afraid to say no. And so like I make it very clear, like I tell them, please, if you feel uncomfortable at any point, like you have to say something. Like, communication is key. And this girl, she just didn't do that, and she just like started crying in the middle, and that was like horrifying. It really was. Like immediately, I stopped, of course, and like kind of like held her and was like, "Are you okay? Like, tell me what's wrong. Like what happened?" And she's like, "It's just too much. I just can't do it." Blah blah blah. And that was fun. So like I kind of held her until she felt better. We hung out, and when she felt better, she left.
Could you take me through, like, what a sexual experience would be with you in detail, or experience with a woman that you could share? I'm just, like, more curious about, like, how it goes down.
It's a very case-by-case basis.
Okay.
Because, like I said, we go over things and, like, establish limits or, like, desires.
Like, verbally, you don't, like, write any of this shit down, right?
No. I was with this girl. Well, I fucked this girl. I can't say I was with this girl, but I met this girl once, and I guess she had just watched 50 Shades of Grey, and I watched it for research purposes only. And so they have a contract or whatever that he signs, and she insisted that we do a fucking contract. And so I told her, yo, okay, whatever. So I just went online and like Googled like a BDSM contract or something.
Yeah.
And there's like this real generic one. I just copied and pasted it. And then she came over. It's like the weirdest fucking thing. She's like, I'm not doing anything until we have a contract. And so I sent her that bullshit contract, and then she's like at my house an hour later. So, but no, I always verbally, like through text, will establish some things. And then, like, for example, if they're into spanking or, like, slapping or choking, I generally like to, like, when we first meet, I like to establish some, like, physical limits, like how hard they like to be slapped. So, like, I'll kind of, like, grab them by the hair, like, the back of the head, and, like, slap them a few times. And like each one will be progressive in the face. And each one will be like progressively harder to see like what they can tolerate. So I know during sexual experience, like I know how hard I can slap them. And I kind of gauge the reaction. Some girls have never been slapped in the face like that, at least like in a non-violent manner, like for a sexual purpose. And so like you can, the first one you can just gauge the reaction, and they're like, holy fucking shit, like what did I just get myself into? So then I kind of know I need to tread lightly.
But why on the, so is the face a thing? I thought it was more like slapping the ass or something like that, or like you like.
Oh, both. I do both.
Huh.
I won't leave marks on the face, but I will definitely leave marks on the ass. Or I'll slap their tits.
Okay, so once you do that, then what?
I'm really into, like, one of my big fetishes is like throat fucking.
Okay, so explain the throat touching. You don't have to.
No, yeah, that's just a hilarious question. So explain throat fucking.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's like forceful, aggressive. Like, let's see how far this can go down your throat. As hard as I can. I can't tell you how many women that thoroughly enjoy that. Like, really like it. Like, one of the girls I'm seeing now, well, two of the girls I'm seeing now, they, like, are really into it. One of them, she has a really strong gag reflex, so she, like, can't really handle it, but she loves it. Like, she gets really wet when I, like, grab her hair with both hands and just, like... Don't look at me like that.
I'm really sorry. I have a really expressive face and it freaks people out in general. So they're like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't mean it that way. I mean, I just learned a shit ton about that whole experience. Oh, I was going to ask you about, like, do you blindfold a bit?
I typically use a necktie when I do.
Oh, okay.
I'll, like, tie a tie around it. Some women really like that. It's a waste of time.
Really?
To me. Yeah, I like to see their eyes. Like when I'm like fucking their face, sometimes I'll force them to look at me.
I mean, it's not an attractive thing to see. Like, obviously it is. You're into it, but like, do they look like they're fucking loving it, or are they looking like, what the fuck is happening to my face right now? Like, if it looks like they're like miserable, is that like haha bitch kind of a thing?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Not a haha bitch, but like a Jesus.
I know.
I am a human. No, it's not like that. But it is a mental orgasm, the fact that the woman is submitting to you in that manner, like to where she's just like giving her body to you.
Yeah.
So it is arousing that way. But I'm not like haha bitch, you know what I mean?
Have regular sex ever. When's the last time you did that?
Like, what is regular sex?
Like, you not being dominant? Were you, I mean, you weren't always like that when you were in your relationship? Would you have, like, missionary? Like,
just, like, normal, like...
Yeah. Like, love you, babe. We just fucked. Cool, I'm gonna go clean my dick. Like, that kind of... I don't know.
I'm gonna go clean my dick. No. The last time... Probably 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay, so here's my next question. When you decide that you want to be in a relationship with somebody, right? Like, do you think you're gonna get married? Like, do you want to get married?
I can eventually again.
Yeah.
No, I don't see myself getting married for a very long time, if at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But do you see yourself, like, committing to, like, one person, like, in a monogamous way? Ever?
Maybe way down the road.
If you end up doing that, would this stop? Or
like
would
the
you,
way I have sex?
Or, yeah. Like, would that be
No.
So it would be something that they would need to, like...
Yeah, absolutely. I was telling my friend when I first moved here that I kind of was like tired of this lifestyle, that I wanted to like be with somebody, and I told him, I said, but I don't even know how to fucking have a normal relationship, or like Like, I just don't. I don't know what to do. Like, if I was in a relationship, like, I wouldn't even know when or if I was in the relationship. Or, like, what is my role? Like, what do I do? Like, I really don't know. I want it. I definitely could be monogamous. Like, I believe in monogamy. I'm not polygamous completely. Right now, I am for sure. But if I was to be in a serious relationship, I would want it to be monogamous. But I enjoy this a lot too. So like, there's times where it gets overwhelming, and I want to stop. But then I get horny again, and I'm right back in it.
But is that like your sex addiction, or is that your like dominant addiction?
I don't know.
Because like, what if you found like I'm just like hypothetically being like, say you found like some woman that you like fell in love with that was like, I love to fuck all day long, but like didn't want to do that. Would that like feed I don't know, like I guess your like sexual desire? Would that be enough ever? No.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Huh.